Okay, guys, here's what I'm going to be talking about here in just a moment. But what I'm about to say is really, it's kind of like me. It's kind of like if I were to say what happened with the Jeffrey Epstein situation. If I were to predicted what would have happened with that situation and just how extensive that situation was, then this is me predicting the next Jeffrey Epstein situation in terms of the amount of people involved and just how deep of an iceberg we're talking about here. So this is related to the Taylor Casey case, which, if you don't know, Taylor Casey is a trans woman that went missing from Chicago in the Bahamas. She was doing it. She was a yoga instructor, and she was doing a yoga retreat with this ashram that is very well known in the Bahamas. And they also have ashrams in Canada, and I believe in the US, and also in Europe. Anyway, so this ashram is like, if you actually look at some of the stories here regarding these ashrams, you'll find that some of the swamis, which are like the higher ups there, the gurus, especially the one that's passed on from that one ashram in the Bahamas, he has some of them have quite a history of sexual assault and abuse. And so this is something that I found out after researching the place in the Bahamas. And notwithstanding the TripAdvisor reviews and the New York Times reviews and all of these more superficial reviews that you might see, these are actually articles that came out regarding people that had stayed at these ashrams for a prolonged period of time and actually served some of these swamis, right? Some of these gurus. And they talk about the amount of assimilation and brainwashing that happens when you arrive. Just the cult-like atmosphere and the total abnegation, total sort of denial of basic human rights, even pastoral care for people that are suffering from mental health issues to any kind of other condition. Like they don't have, I'm not saying they don't have first aid there, but they have very young teenagers and adults running around maintaining the facilities. So this is a very top-down organization with the swamis at the top kind of acting as like these Citizen Kanes in the background. So there's definitely evidence here that this, first of all, is a very patriarchal organization. Two, is one that does have a history of abuse and sexual abuse at that. So if you actually just look at some of the photos from the website of this ashram where Taylor Casey disappeared from, and by the way, the day that she disappeared and the following days, the ashram itself never posted anything on their social media regarding her disappearance, nor did they respond to anyone that was asking about her, nor were they really concerned for anyone else that might have been wondering about her. Like, they didn't put flyers up or anything. So that right there is a big red flag in terms of, like, do they even care? Do they really care? Do they really care about trans people? Do they really care about women? Do they care about people that have gone missing on their premises? And being that this is an island that you have to take a boat to and from, and they found her phone in the water. It just kind of begs the question of whether Taylor Casey was trying to leave. Maybe go get some nightlife, or I don't know, maybe she needed medical attention. Maybe she was running away from something. I don't know. Maybe she had someone following her or stalking her. Maybe she had an ex or something. Anyway, or maybe a tourist showed up one day and decided that he was going to abduct her. Maybe it was an accident. But either way, after some digging and some research, I come to find that there's a Swami there that has passed on. And this Swami definitely did take advantage of someone that was serving under him, and in a sexual manner. And so there's also reports that he's not the only one that's done this, that there's others. And so sometimes when we get disappearances like this happening from places like ashrams, it's so that spirit is like letting us like dig up a little bit of stuff there, because there's something lurking under the surface that's not so good. And so my prediction is that the next Jeffrey Epstein case is actually going to be centered around these ashrams in the Bahamas, in Canada, and in other parts of the world. Because actually, it's a chain of ashrams. So there's a significant amount of money that goes to protecting the identities and the reputations of these swamis, these presidents. And so we've only seen a few women come forward, but this Taylor Casey incident may suggest that there's something more disturbing and horrific going on at these ashrams. And I would like to make the prediction that the next Jeffrey Epstein island is going to be one involving the cult here at the cult of whatever their name is, ashram here on the Bahamas. And these swamis have gotten away with this for such a long time that there is a lot of secrecy here, shame, and bearing of the truth. And my prediction is that the next Jeffrey Epstein case is going to be involving a circuit of swamis at these ashrams. And, hiding behind their vestibule of traditional yogi wisdom dating back to like the 60s. But really, that the whole organization is infested from the top down. And it starts with these men, of course. Divine feminine women, just as a reminder, if you're a divine feminine woman, you are targeted and you are endangered just by being on this earth. So that's a separate message. But the message that I want to get out is a prediction. Just watch. Just watch. These swamis are guilty. And one of them has died before any of these victims have gotten justice. And some of their stories are truly horrific. where like this one woman that was serving under the Swami would like do everything, like clean his house, like bring him food, whatever he wanted. And one day she came in and he, I don't know, he wanted something, some tea, and he suggested to her that she do some things like tantric, some sort of tantric sex or something, tantric yoga, and she didn't know what he was talking about, and he basically raped her. And then there was another incident where he was like caught doing something under a sheet. Anyway, and then he like, basically his fluid got onto her somehow because he's a freaking pervert. So these swamis are like basically getting away with all this stuff under the guise of being like these gurus with their picture blown up in the background while people are chanting in front of them, you know? No gods, no masters. That's what I'm saying. No gods, no masters. And you won't be found in a cult situation with a swami that's jerking off on you. So word to the wise.